Okay. Hi. Trying to get this adjusted. I'm trying to use my iPad because it downloads onto my channel quicker than my phone does. But I'm not in love with the angle that I have to look at. I'm looking straight into the screen and it looks like I'm looking to the side. So let me know in the comments if that bothers anybody. But I'm gonna go ahead and do this one and see how it works. If it doesn't work, I'll do it on my phone next time. But, so today I came on to want to do a video about my first week. It's actually the first 10 days. It's September 10th, and I started the Lion Diet on September 1st. So this is the 10th day of the Lion Diet. And I went over the last video. I went over the reasons I'm doing it, but I'll mention that again really quickly. Is that the reason I'm doing it is for further healing. I was recently on butter, bacon, eggs, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, as Ken Berry likes to call it, the three B's and E, and Dr. Kiltz calls it BB because he's a baby maker. So it's just beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, and that's what I was eating, and that's what I was really happy on. It was that plus decaf coffee. So Lion Diet was just changing a few things. So I'm just eating beef, and this morning I had added a little bit of lamb, but I was having trouble finding lamb that wasn't really expensive. But yesterday at the store I found some good price lamb, so I had lamb for breakfast. And when I did the Lion Diet, I did it before in 2020, June through September. No, July through September. So I did it for the month of July, August, and September in 2020. And I did really well. It lowered my insulin requirements tremendously, but I didn't heal anything tremendous that I wanted to heal. So, and I missed bacon and eggs. That's what happened the first time I did it. So I wanted to try it again, so I started September 1st. And after 10 days, there's nothing remarkable happening. It's not a miracle. It's a miracle that I'm staying on it and being friends with all my carnivore friends, because they're all showing pictures of bacon and eggs and carnivore casseroles and carnivore sauces and puddings and things that I can't eat on a Lion Diet. And it's hard to watch all the delicious carnivore videos that I've been seeing. Even the Powerball that Homestead Hal Carey talks about, or my friend Ray McGeorge talks about the Powerball. Basically, it's ground beef loose in a skillet with eggs and other. Carrie does it with eggs and bacon and beef, ground beef, and mix it all up in the skillet, and it's a bowl. My friend Ray does it with more cheese, and I do know that I have to stay away from cheese. I can eat it, and I have plenty since I've been a carnivore, but it's definitely slightly inflammatory for me. And the reason why you drop eggs and butter, bacon, and eggs. So the reason why you would want to drop butter and other dairy and eggs is because they have things in them that are inflammatory for some people. And some people, the inflammation is so small that it's better that they just eat them and they're happy and they don't have any problems. A lot of other carnivores have problems with all those foods. and other foods too, like any kind of oil that is not an animal source oil. A lot of carnivores have problems with those. And I don't even know if I have problems with those. I just want to be the healthiest. I'm having problems with something. So I'll talk about my hands in this video, I guess, because I really want to see if I can get improvement in my hands. I have what's called, so this is as far as I can open my hands. It's called Dupuytren contracture. And it really limits me. It is not painful. It's just the tendons harden, and you can't open them any farther. And I massage them, and I put magnesium oil on them, and I pull on them, and they don't really change. I mean, they get worse, but they don't really change better. There are surgeries that you can do, but I'm afraid of surgery. And I've waited so long that the surgery wouldn't really help at this point. So, and then I have, let's get it in the picture. I have Heberden nodes. It's these knuckles. I've looked it up. Supposedly, it's from overuse of these fingers, because those are the straightest ones. So when I'm working with my hands and I need to do something or even lift something, I end up using these two fingers more than I would, and so the cartilage in this knuckle gets worn out. But in my opinion, there's got to be another reason. The Dupuytren's runs in families from Northern European families, and I'm like 100% Northern European. I had my 23andMe, and that's what it said. So I was kind of destined for this, but usually people who are older get it, like you get it after the age of 65. But some lucky people like me get it, mine started in my 30s. And I've actually, time seems to go by really slowly, but I've worked on a lot of different diets and therapies to try to help this, and nothing's ever helped. So I've been carnivore for nearly 5 years. I do think that the low-carb aspect of carnivore and keto that I was on for 7 years before this, and low-carb, for a total of 27 years. And I think that it keeps it from getting a lot worse, and my skin is, some people's skin is very dried out. My skin is very healthy, and I'm thankful for that, and I don't have any pain. Some people have a lot of pain with this condition. So anyway, I didn't really mean to talk that much about it, but that's one of the things I'm hoping to heal or at least improve. And just like type 1 diabetes, which the medical profession all say you can't heal it. I do happen to know a few people who have healed or at least improved it enough to get off of insulin. It doesn't usually happen. That has happened only in cases of people who were diagnosed later in life, at least past the age of 25, and people who had not taken insulin for very long. And I always thought that was pretty, like if they take it for less than a year, then if they change their diet a lot or go on a very low carb diet, I've even heard of, or the carnivore diet, they can reverse the condition, just like a type 2 diabetic could. But type 1s who have been on insulin for a really long time usually can't reverse the disease. But it doesn't keep me from still being hopeful. Oops. Jasper. Sorry. Hey, hush. I live in a building with, there's 3 other apartments in this building, and there's 3 apartments, 3 or more, maybe 5 apartments in the building right next door, which is kind of attached. So there's a lot of noise where I live, and my puppy is very protective of me, and I'm very thankful that he would protect me if needed, but sometimes he wants to protect me even if it's not needed. So, what was I saying? I was just getting ready to talk about something. I should have written it down. Let me think. I was saying how it's not. Oh, I know. This is a funny thought. So way back when I was really young, let's see how old was I? I was probably 23. And I used to shop in this health food store in Louisiana, who actually was owned by my future husband, and called The Good Earth, and they had a lot of cool books. And I started reading nutrition books way back then and getting into health and nutrition. And there was this book called Back to Eden. It was by, the author's name was Jethro Kloss. I loved his name, and it was really thick. It was like a really thick, 400-page book all about herbs and healing protocols that were known a really long time ago. I'm not exactly sure. I should look this up when this book was written. I'll look it up on my phone because I'm on my iPad and I can't. So, Back to Eden. Back to Eden. Let's see when it was written. Come on, don't be slow now. Well, it is on Amazon. I mean, I'm not recommending it. I just think that it's going to make a point for me. And it doesn't say, on Amazon it doesn't say. I should have asked what year was Back to Eden written on. What year was Back to Eden written? Kloss. It's Kloss. Jethro Kloss. Okay, I have to bring my glasses out. The print's getting way too small. It was not. I was reading it in the 70s. It says 1986. Like, no, you're wrong. And it was already old back then. Ah. I see in 1935. So 1935. So it was already old by the time I was reading it. In what year? 1974, maybe? 1975? No, it might have been 76. 76 or 77. That's when I started reading nutrition books. I read Jethro Kloss. I read Adele Davis. I read, what was his name? Well, anyway, I'll get into that another time. That would be fun. But my point about Jethro Kloss and Back to Eden, even then, back in 1935, he was, and insulin was only invented in 1922 and started being used by type 1 diabetics. And so in 1935, in Back to Eden, Jethro Kloss already said that if a diabetic gets put on insulin and is on insulin for over a year, they won't be able to be healed, even on natural diets and therapies. Now, his diet, Jethro Kloss's diets and therapies, was mostly herbs and a vegetarian diet. So I'm not telling you to do that, because through all my experience, I have ended up on the carnivore diet because I've had a lot of experience, and I know that there is an issue with vegan and vegetarian diets and limiting your animal product consumption, and it creates weakness in your body, and that's the reason why at first a vegetarian diet seems healing, because it's so weak that you detox some problems. That's why people feel like they're getting healed on the vegetarian diet. But pretty soon you lose that because you become weak and your cells become weak and you can't build a strong body on the vegetarian diet. So that's how I ended up carnivore. But I'm hoping that the Lion diet will help with my diabetes. Even if I'm not able to get off of insulin, I would like to see how low my insulin requirements can be. And I would like to heal my hands. So I'm going to report on my first 10 days. My first 10 days of the Lion diet, I've eaten a lot of ground beef, I've eaten a few steaks, I've eaten lamb chops, I've eaten brisket quite a lot. I bought a great big brisket, like an 11-pound brisket, and cut it up into 3 roasts. So I'm on my second roast, and it's delicious. I love it. I've eaten a lot of brisket. I've eaten chuck roast. So I've eaten a lot in the first almost 2 weeks. I mean, first 10 days. What I have noticed on the Lion diet is I feel a little bit more nappy. I won't say I'm fatigued. It's more like I'm sleepy. So my body is asking for more sleep. So most days I have taken a morning nap for 10 or 15 minutes. And then I've also taken an afternoon nap some days. Some days if I take the morning nap, I don't need the afternoon nap. And like this morning, it's already 11:30. I haven't taken a nap and I feel fine. But I have noticed that for the first 10 days. Most days I have taken at least 1, sometimes 2 naps. What else have I noticed? I have noticed being a little bit stiff in my muscles. I don't know why. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I just have noticed that I'm a little stiffer. And it might be because I've been working more on Instagram and Facebook on my accounts and my husband's account. He was an artist and he died a year and a half ago. And I still work on his Instagram and Facebook accounts, keeping them up to date, because we still have courses available that he made to teach painting. So I still work on that. So it's a part-time job. I should probably get a standing desk because I've been sitting way too much at my kitchen table, just like I am now. So that might be why I'm stiff, because actually right now I'm feeling pretty good. Also, the first 10 days, I had started running, walking on my walks with my puppy Jasper. So I think it was my interest in Sean O'Mara and his sprinting. So I knew and how it helps you lose visceral fat, which is the fat you want to lose. It's in the visceral fat is the fat that's in around your organs that you don't want any of that. So he has this sprinting protocol that he teaches, and I knew that I was going to want to do that, but I hadn't run. I used to run when I was young. I used to run, miles and miles, and loved it. Well, I actually didn't love it. I just thought it was a job and a chore, but I did do it for several years. So I was running, walking, and Jasper was loving it. But at some point, I tripped over his beautiful leather leash that I have, and it pulled back 3 of my toes. The toes right in the middle. Not on each end, but the ones in the middle. And they are sore, and they are a little bit swollen and red. So I'm going to have to heal those toes before I can start running again. So anyway, that's another reason why I think I'm not feeling my best. It's because several days ago, well, it's actually been a week. I did it last Sunday. So I think I've been hobbling a little bit. That might also be why I'm a little bit sore or stiff, I said. About the toes. So when I was a raw vegan, we all, and all my friends, we were all into the Vibram 5-finger shoes. And I got several pairs, and I loved them. And when I first had them, I decided I wanted to go out and run. And like I said, I used to run. And this was like 13 years ago. I just got a message on my phone. I'll see it in a minute because I think I'm almost finished. So 13 years ago, I took off in my brand new Vibrams and started running this loop that was in around the house that we lived in out in the country. And I didn't know how far the loop was, but I'm like, I'm going to do this. So I ran this loop. When I got back, my toe hurt. My middle toe on my right foot hurt. And my husband and I got in the car, and we said, can you tell me how far this is? Because, we didn't have phones that would count our steps back then. Well, it was 7 miles. So I had run, first time back to running, I ran 7 miles in Vibrams and probably broke my toe. But I didn't go to the doctor because I felt kind of stupid. So it just kind of healed. I stayed off of it for a while, and it eventually healed, and it was fine. But I still had a slight swelling around that area. It wasn't sore anymore, but it was just like it wasn't as skinny as the other foot. So then in July, when I went to the New Jersey meetup at Lisa Wiedemann's, we were taking the group picture, and I knelt down on the floor to be in the front because that's where they asked me to be, and I kind of bent back that toe. So that toe was sore again for the next maybe 2 weeks, for a little while. So this toe that I hurt the other day running with Jasper, of course, just happens to be that toe. So that's pretty disappointing. I have to decide whether I want to go to a doctor and figure out exactly what's going on, or if I want to trust myself and just eat plenty of protein and hope that it heals that way. And I might ask a few other carnivores, or I might ask you guys, what do you think I should do? Right now I'm just going to stay online and see how it heals. I have every intention of staying on it and making sure that it's going to be okay, but I haven't stopped walking. Yesterday I walked almost 8 miles. So it doesn't hurt so bad that I can't walk. It's just a little bit painful, red and swollen, so that's it. So I think I'm pretty much covered how the Lion Diet is going. And I will report to you in a few days to let you know if I get any other results. It was my intention to do this at least for a month, but hopefully if I'm getting good results at the end of September, I'll keep doing it. So we will see. But you guys, I want to make sure that you know you can comment. Oh, one more thing. I almost forgot about this. This morning I listened to a video of Dr. Chafee's, and he was interviewing Phil Escott. And Phil Escott was talking about autoimmune disease and the carnivore diet, and how when he interviewed Zofia Clemens, she was like, you've got to just do basically the Lion Diet. You have to do high fat, and in her country you can eat pork, but he kind of extrapolated from what she said. He believes you have to eat beef and lamb to heal autoimmune diseases. And I don't really know how to share on my screen yet. I got to learn that, but I will put it in the comments. I'll put the video that I'm talking about so that y'all can listen to that, because I think it's really important. So, okay, bye. I will see y'all in a few days. Have fun. Join me. Ask me any questions. I promise I will answer them in the comments. Okay, bye-bye.